Standing up, which was deemed to be a sensible way of making sure that the councils themselves didn't last too long. And they are by nature functionary, and business can therefore be dealt with quite quickly. It's a very richly decorated part of the palace with red damask walls, all in hangings, surrounded by all these amazing paintings, monarchs of the past. And the king will probably come in through the door on the left there, and out the window at the gardens of Clarence House, a line through the tapestry of time for this country, back to monarchs like old King Cole, Kenneth MacApin of Scots, and the princes of Wales, and the old High Kings of Ireland. A copy of the Scottish Oath will, of course, be sent later to the moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. The moderator, interestingly, was preaching at Crathy Church the last weekend of the Queen's life and stayed at Balmoral Castle and spoke recently of how lively and spirited the late Queen was at that time, and when he took leave of Her Majesty on Monday, she seemed in good heart. As the council are brought to order, when the King comes in, a bow will be made and he will make his statement.
Business for Part 2 of the Council. Your Majesty, to make your declaration.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, it is my most sorrowful duty to announce to you the death of my beloved mother, the Queen. I know how deeply you, the entire nation, and I think I may say the whole world, sympathise with me in the irreparable loss we've all suffered. It is the greatest consolation to me to know of the sympathy expressed by so many to my sister and brothers, and that such overwhelming affection and support should be extended to our whole family in our loss. To all of us as a family, as to this kingdom and the wider family of nations of which it is a part, my mother gave an example of lifelong love and of selfless service. My mother's reign was unequalled in its duration, its dedication and its devotion. Even as we grieve, we give thanks for this most faithful life. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty which have now passed to me. In taking up these responsibilities, I shall strive to follow the inspiring example I have been set in upholding constitutional government and to seek the peace, harmony and prosperity of the peoples of these islands and of the Commonwealth realms and territories throughout the world. In this purpose, I know that I shall be upheld by the affection and loyalty of the peoples whose sovereign I have been called upon to be, and that in the discharge of these duties, I will be guided by the counsel of their elected parliaments. In all this, I am profoundly encouraged by the constant support of my beloved wife. I take this opportunity to confirm my willingness and intention to continue the tradition of surrendering the hereditary revenues, including the Crown Estate, to my government for the benefit of all, in return for the sovereign grant, which supports my official duties as head of state and head of nation. And in carrying out the heavy task that has been laid upon me, and to which I now dedicate what remains to me of my life, I pray for the guidance and help of Almighty God.
I have with humble duty to crave your Majesty's permission for the publication of your gracious speech.
Approved.
Concerning the security of the Church of Scotland.
I understand that the law requires that I should, at my accession to the Crown, take and subscribe the oath relating to the security of the Church of Scotland. I am ready to do so at this first opportunity. I, Charles III, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of my other realms and territories, King, Defender of the Faith, do faithfully promise and swear that I shall inviolably maintain and preserve the settlement of the true Protestant religion as established by the laws made in Scotland in prosecution of the claim of right, and particularly by an act intituled An Act for Securing the Protestant Religion and Presbyterian Church Government, and by the acts passed in the Parliament of both kingdoms for union of the two kingdoms, together with the government, worship, discipline, rights and privileges of the Church of Scotland. So help me God.
I now invite your Majesty to subscribe both copies of the instrument, confirming the oath has been taken.
Noting that the King is signing Charles Rex, Charles R.
I now invite the witnesses to His Majesty's oath to sign both copies of the instrument.
And for the first time, the Prince of Wales signing William P. for Princeps, which is the Latin for prince. You will note that for an order in council to be approved by the monarch, Just the simple word approved makes it enacted. And the remaining business will be thus attended. In the background, while the signatures, particularly the Secretary of State for Scotland, the Right Honourable Alistair Jack, you can hear in the background the music of the Coldstream Guards as the King's Guard is forming up in Friary Court for the proclamation to be read out by Gotha King of Arms later on. The First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, signing the two documents. First time, First Minister of Scotland has taken part in this significant part of the Accession Council. In the background, the private secretaries of the former Queen, the present King. Former Queen's private secretary will continue to serve the new King and also of the Prince of Wales.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's declaration to be made public.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council for recording the oath relating to the security of the Church of Scotland to be transmitted to the Court of Session, to be recorded in the books of Sederant and afterwards lodged in the State Papers of Scotland and in the Council Register.
Approved.
Draft order in Council determining the form of proclamation for proclaiming Your Majesty in the realms and in the British Overseas Territories.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the Lord Chancellor to make use of the Great Seal for sealing all things whatsoever that pass the Great Seal until another Great Seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the Lord Privy Seal, if need be, to make use of the existing Privy Seal until another Privy Seal is prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Drafts of 3 orders in Council authorising Your Majesty's principal Secretaries of State, the Lord Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, to use the existing seals until other seals be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's Secretary of State for Northern Ireland to make use of the existing Great Seal of Northern Ireland until another seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's First Minister of Scotland to make use of the Great Seal of Scotland until another Great Seal of Scotland be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's First Minister of Wales to make use of the existing Welsh seal until another Welsh seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the public seals, authorising the respective public seals lately in use elsewhere than in the United Kingdom, to be made use of until new seals be prepared and their use duly authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council confirming Your Majesty's wishes in relation to the Sovereign Grant Act 2011 to continue the tradition of surrendering the hereditary revenues, including the Crown Estate, to your government for the benefit of all, in return for the sovereign grant, which supports your official duties as head of state and head of nation.
Approved.
Drafts of 2 proclamations. 1. Appointing the day of Her late Majesty's state funeral as a bank holiday in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. 2. Appointing the day of Her late Majesty's state funeral as a bank holiday in Scotland. And of 2 orders in Council directing the Lord Chancellor to affix the Great Seal to the proclamations.
Approved.
I now invite Your Majesty to sign both proclamations. And that, Your Majesty, concludes today's business for the Council.
With bows from all the Privy Council, the King, the Prince of Wales and the Queen Consort leave, followed by their household.